Yo guys, what's going on? Acez is here today with another video. In today's video, we are going to be checking out PMC spawns on PVE Tarkov in Interchange. Do me a favor, make sure you're dropping a like on this one here today, and of course, make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more PVE content. Let's hop right into this one. So the format of this video here today is going to be a little different in comparison to the other PMC spawn videos on the other maps that we have done so far. We are on the map, and I'm going to be zooming in and out. I can still put the red arrows on screen, but we are going to be zooming in and out because we're mainly focused on one area of Interchange, and that is the mall itself. So looking at the left-hand side of the screen here, and you should be able to see my cursor now because we're actually screen recording. I'm not editing in the image and then putting red arrows on it. We are actually checking it out on a screen now. The entire outside of Interchange, like literally the entire outside, if you can look up and see sky, you will not have any PMCs spawning outside as of June 3rd. And I say that because BSG has been silently making changes. When I make these PMC spawn videos, new PMCs get added somewhere, and then all you guys start raging in the comments that I didn't tell you about a PMC spawn. I'm doing my best over here to give you guys these PMC spawn videos, but when BSG decides to silently do shit, it makes it a little hard sometimes. All right, so just so you can get acquainted with what we're looking at here on screen, on the left is going to be the entire outside and the parking garage. So we don't need any of this because I personally, after probably 20 to 30 Interchange raids, have not had any PMCs anywhere outside or in any parts of the garage. None. So this left side of the map, we don't even have to really pay attention to, and that's why we're going to be using the zoom feature here today, so we can get a better look at these two maps on the right that we're a little more interested in. So we're going to start down here on the bottom right because this is going to be the top floor or second floor. All right, so here we are on the second floor. I have only had PMCs in two areas on the second floor. The first one is right by the main window, and like I said, I should still be putting the red arrows on screen for you guys, but you will also see my cursor moving. But it's going to be right near the window, the main window that overlooks like the main road in the front of the mall. I have had a group of 4 PMCs here, and they were right in the middle by the little, I think there's a couple arcade machines in here. They were right there. And they were also kind of standing next to that little tiny food stand that is there. They weren't in either of the restaurants here. They were literally out in the center right near the window. And then the only other place that I have had PMCs was at the bookstore, which is right here. The bookstore had one single PMC, and it was a bear. So, you know, if there's one PMC, that definitely means you could have an entire group of 4 spawning there. But I was originally spotted once I was running towards Tech Light, and he was in the hallway. Once I was spotted and he was aggroed, he retreated into the bookstore. And I also actually had a couple scavs pushing up that way where that PMC did engage those scavs. So, you know, could be a freak incident, could be an odd spawn, could be a rare spawn, but it's definitely happened. As for any other spawns on the second floor, if you guys have experienced them anywhere else, just know it could be possible that you aggroed the PMC and didn't even know. And sometimes they do funky shit when they are aggroed. So keep that in mind. But if you want to add anything in the comments anywhere else for second floor, feel free to do so. Help somebody out. Next, we are going to be moving to the first floor, the main floor of Interchange, just to make sure you know where we're at. We have Idea here on the left. It's like you're looking straight at the mall. Then we have the grocery store. We got Goshan right here. And then we have Ollie. And right here is where you would enter right into the center of the mall. So we have PMC spawns in a lot of locations. We are going to start left and move our way to the right. So starting from the left at Idea, I have had 2 different PMCs spawning in Idea. The first one is right near the ramp, right near all like the check lanes, the cashier area. So it's in the front of the store. I've had PMCs spawning there. And I've also had PMCs spawning in this little hallway right here in Idea. And what they were doing when I was engaging them is they were pushing through this door right here where you can kind of see the connection into the mall. As you can see with my mouse cursor, they were right in here. So I don't know if that was maybe like the PMCs from all the cashier check lanes, like maybe they got aggro to scavs because there's a ton of scavs that spawn an Idea. Maybe they got aggroed and just that one instance that I had them in this hallway, maybe that is the reason for it. But just know PMCs can spawn in Idea. So next we're going to be looking at literally the middle of the map, and we're going to kind of make it a little bit broader. It's the entire middle lane of the map. So to be more specific with what I have experienced with the PMCs, it kind of goes from Mantis the whole way down to a dick, and it's going to be the bottom of a dick. No pause, the bottom of a dick. So to give you a bunch of red arrows on screen, it's going to be kind of starting at Mantis, and they can be anywhere in the center, anywhere near Kiba, and they typically, if they're going to be spawning near a dick, they'll be right near the generic store, or they will be across from Rasmussen, somewhere in this area. And if you aggro them from the sports store here, they could push the whole way down into this hallway here. If they are kind of buried deep into a dick here and you're challenging from Texo, you could aggro them the whole way to Texo. That is kind of what I have experienced with this little system that is going on in the middle of Interchange here. And that's just my personal experience. You know, they could be kind of doing anything in there, and I'm sure they can go into a dick. They could probably go into Mantis, and they can probably go into Brutal as well. I've actually had them in Brutal one single time, so I don't know if that is somewhere they spawn or if they walked in there, because there's a ton of scavs that go through that middle lane of the mall as well. So they could have just gone in there from an aggro, from a scav, but just know basically the entire middle lane of Interchange, that literal hotspot lane that everybody used to run for Killa, that is a hot spot for PMCs. So we're going to move straight up into Goshan, and this is a pretty easy one without a lot of roaming. You're going to have PMCs up the center of the grocery store, so you will not have PMCs over by the food, and you will not have them over by the lockers. They're going to be right in the center, and they can roam the whole way up towards the back wall, and they can roam the whole way up kind of towards the escalator, but they'll be by that med tent that's right there. That's kind of that area that they will be roaming in, but it's going to be in that center lane, that center portion of Goshan, where you're going to find those PMCs. And this has actually been probably like the second most common spot that I've found them out of all the spots we'll talk about here today. That center lane and Interchange being probably the hottest spot on the map. But then when it comes to Goshan, that has been my number 2 for finding PMCs. And you need a ton of PMCs on Interchange for task. You have a lot of tasks that require PMC kills in Interchange. So I think this is going to be a pretty popular one out of all the maps. We're going to be talking about Ollie now, and it's going to be in the front portion of the store. So here on the left is where all those check lanes are, all the aisles, but the PMCs are spawning more along the right bottom portion of Ollie, and they can kind of roam the whole way over to Texo in this generalized area here. Hopefully I can put like a red oval on screen for you guys, but they kind of do a little bit of a weird roaming pattern in here. But they're typically in the front of the store from the outside entrance, rather than in the back of the store from what I've seen. But it's kind of a wide cast net when it comes to where they could be in Ollie. And I just realized we actually do have one spot outside where they can spawn, and it's actually going to be right outside the back of Ollie. So let's go over to the other map. So the map that's on screen right now is the outside map. So you can see right here is Emercon, and here is the ramp to go up to the back of Ollie. I've had PMCs out here multiple times, and I've had them in 2 spots right out here. I've had them right here, and that is the entrance to go into Ollie over here. Here, now it looks a little confusing because this is showing the parking garage layer, but right here is the entrance into Ollie, and then if you come down a little, you go into that hallway where the utility closet is, and then the other entrance is going to be about right here. I've had PMC spawning by pretty much both of the back-end entrances of Ollie, here on the left and here on the right. I've had PMCs there, and both times I believe it was a group of 2. So I've only had them there twice, and I typically run back here a lot. So probably one of those more rare spawns, but that is technically, if you look straight up, you can see some sky, and there will be some PMCs there. So that's going to do it for the guide for Interchange and PMC spawns. A little bit different of a format here with zooming into the different maps, but I think this was best because we are talking about pretty much inside a building the entire time, and this was just the way that made sense to do it in my head without actually going into raid, and you guys seem to really like the map thing that we do for the PMC spawns. So try to figure it out. And I think this one worked out pretty well. I think it's going to be a decent video, and you guys will pretty much get all the spawns pretty well. So let me know how it turned out, and let me know if I missed any spawns. I think I have Interchange pretty much down to a T when it comes to where these PMCs are spawning. I've played it a fair amount, so I think I didn't miss any, and I think I got them all. But if you've had some, interesting spawn points or something, you can definitely let us know in the comments down below. Do me a favor, make sure you drop it a like on this one. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Sponsored equipment description below. It's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm out.